everybody, I'm Susan. Welcome to Plateau Art Studio, Art for Kids. I'm here to help you along today with an art project, so let's see what we're working on today. Hi, alright, so today is Laurel Burch Abstract Cats, and so I'm using her cats to play off of a kind of abstract. So they'll be really similar. This is a picture of her famous cat faces that she does, and I've done this one in school before, but the one that we'll be doing is brand new. So if you've done it before, the one I have is completely different and is brand new. But we have talked about Laurel Burch's cats. She does more than cats. She used to sell her art down in Southern California, just on the streets, and she used to make beads, find things around the streets to make jewelry, and just a very, very creative person. She never had any, I believe she was self-taught, and yeah, and so she makes other things besides cats, but this is what really became so popular. So this style of cat. So she has, now you can buy handbags, socks, coffee mugs. She has her cats on everything. So here's one of my little favorites that I have at home. This is my coffee mug, and it is of all her cats with all their angular tails and funny little designs, patterns in the cats. It's just really fun. Swirls and triangles and just all kinds of stuff there. Real fun. All right, so our project today is you have Laurel Burch's cats that looks just like this on a canvas, 12 by 12 canvas. You are going to add whatever you want, and then I did a heart because it's February, and I did a heart for just to represent Valentine's Day. She has one real similar to this that has butterflies and stuff up in it, but I wanted the hearts because it's February for Valentine's Day. So we're going to work with patterns, and I want you to, this is a good project to trace. All right, so if your parent will allow you to use a black permanent marker, a fine tip black permanent marker that works perfect for this project. If you do not have one, a black crayon will work really well too, okay? So I want you to trace your cats, and you put me on pause while you trace your cats, and then revisit me and we'll talk about the patterns in the cat. All right, so you get busy and trace, take your time and trace out everything that is in pencil right now on your canvas. All right, and then revisit me. Okay, so the next step is, what are we missing? All right, so we have, I don't have my pencil. All right, well, we'll just have to do it with marker. So we have our cat, all right. We'll add maybe the whiskers later or now if you want. You need to draw the eyes, and what else? We need to add the toes, which would be the claws. You can just do 3 little lines here. There's enough room for 3. Okay, you need to add that. What else is our cat missing? We have a tail, we have ears, we have eyes, and cat's eyes, the pupil is usually not round. They're kind of like this curved little slit there. So I'm going to draw those in. You can draw them in or you can paint them in, whatever you want, but do trace the outline you need to make the eye there. And what else? Let's see. Have you figured it out yet? How about the whiskers? Nice big whiskers. Okay, turn your work around if you want. It don't always have to work where your, I should have made those a little smaller. It's gonna go over my other cat. Oh well. Oh gosh. So, yeah, I made little dots where I wanted my whiskers. All right, so there's the whiskers there. And I think, you know, that's it. The rest of everything we'll do is going to be with paint. So I think we're good. All right, so you had to add the eyes, the whiskers, and the toes. Now, oh, before we start painting, we have to talk about patterns. So in her work, she used a lot of patterns, all right? So she has little diamonds, zigzags, polka dots. This one looks like a, you know, zebra, like a striped tiger, swirls. So let's talk about patterns, and then I'll show you my sample. All right, so pattern could be a circle. We're gonna fill in the cats, all right? So it's gonna look like this so you understand. Okay, so here's my sample. So this one has diamonds, this one has swirls, and put in little dots at the top. We can add whatever we want. Okay, so I just want you to think about different shapes. You can use more hearts. This is a dot. This is a circle. A dot is the shape of a circle, but a dot is usually filled in. So a dot, circle, triangle. How about a cloud? A moon, a star, a swirl. If you can't make a star, there's different ways to make a star. So I have, I don't want to draw that, it might bleed through. So there's, this one is like a little triangle with little triangle hands, and then think of it as triangle feet. And then this one is a triangle, and then to the side, all the way up. Ooh, that was terrible. All the way across, and then back down. And then this one, you can just make little X's as a star. That one's really easy. If you can draw stars, great. Swirl, and then zigzag, and a wave, all right? And don't forget about just dots. Maybe you want dots on something. So let's try a couple of those here. And I'm gonna fill in my cat with a pattern, all right? So I'm gonna do this one in my favorite little, this is like one of my favorites, is little swirls. But I want you to come up with what you like, all right? It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. So you can come up with, let's say, dots. You know, maybe there's some little circles around this heart. But we can also do that in painting as well. All right, so we've got the little swirls. Now I'm just gonna fill in my cat. My big cat with swirls. You can do swirls on the tail, or leave it plain, or maybe a different pattern, okay? All right, I know I go kind of fast. You work at your own pace, and then you pause me whenever you need to, okay? So when you feel like I'm going too fast, then just pause until you're done with what you are working on, and then revisit me. Okay, so I have all my little swirls. And then let's see, this one, the other one I did diamonds. Let's see, I'm gonna do polka dots under the eyes. And maybe I'll do a zigzag up here. You don't have to do a lot. I'm just kind of giving you ideas and showing you different things, okay? Because this might be too much, I don't know. Okay, and then I don't know how many of you have cats. If you have a cat that has really long hair, lots of times they have cute little tufts of hair in their ears that come out like that. Okay, so it could be kind of different if you want. All right, and then this one can stay just that way, or maybe you want, maybe it's just, let's see, I've got round, circly kind of things over here. So I want maybe some diamonds over here, and then I can fill in, because that gives me some angles that's different than this one. I don't want them all to be, both my cats to be the same. Okay, so there. All right, there we go. Now we have our design. I want you to trace your design or use your marker, okay? So I'm hoping you have a marker, but a crayon will work too. All right, so that's it. When you get, so pause until you are done designing your cats with pattern. And then, pardon me, then we'll start, then revisit me and we'll start painting. Okay, so the next step is painting. All right, so you can paint all the way to the edges. I made myself a little border. I took a ruler and I drew a line all the way around the edge to give myself a little frame around there, but you do what you want. All right, so I have my swirls. This one I did some little dots on top, and then I have my instead of diamonds, I did triangles over here. Okay, so let's start with the background. You choose any color you want for your cats, and do remember all the different colors, blues and golds and reds and magentas and purples, and over here is different oranges and golds and yellows, and so you choose the color combinations you want on your cats. This one's a solid color with the face being kind of red. The highlights are on the eyes. This one has a lot of color. It's blue, it's mainly blue with purple. She's got, you can't see it, but there's little stripes down here and kind of a more of a bluish purple, and then red. There's a lot of color on there. So you decide what color combination you want for your cats, and do your background in a different color so they show up well. Okay, so we're gonna paint the background, and I did not add water because we're working on canvas. You don't need water. Oh goodness, I have a cat who's scratching at my door right now. I don't know if you can hear that on the tape, on video. He doesn't like being locked out. But if I let him in, he'd be sitting right in the middle of our artwork as we're trying to do a project. His name is Milo. All right, so there. So I'm gonna just carefully paint around. Okay. I painted once already. I kind of like painting again because it gives it a richer color. So I'm gonna turn this upside down or turn it around. Don't be afraid to turn your work around so you can reach the different parts of your artwork. Okay, so there we go. And think about the size of brush you're using, because we are painting around a lot of different shapes. I have a really good flat brush and it forms around things, but if you have a flat brush from the kit. They're pretty good, but I don't know how well they. My bristles are really soft. They're firm but soft. It's just a really good brush. So it does make it easier to paint when you have good tools. Okay. Well, I hope you're having a good day today. It has to be good if we're doing art. I love to do art. Alright, well, we're almost done with our background. Or at least I am. I know you're going to be working on yours for a while. Again, I'm going to remind you, I know I say it a lot, but you pause if I start on the cats and you're not, I know you won't be ready. So you put me on pause until you have your background painted, okay? Or if you did a border around, you're probably just starting to paint. Finish this over here and then start on the cat. This would take a long time for me to record this whole thing, and I'm not set up for doing a really long video. So that's why I break these down into little steps. Okay, here we go. I got my background done. Okay, now you work and finish on your background. Take your time, don't rush. Alright, always take your time when you're doing your art. Alright, so you put me on pause, finish your background, and then let's revisit me and we'll get started on the cat. Alright, so I'm going to do this green because I think that'll stand out pretty well. And I think, yeah, if I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water with my green because I don't want it to be a really dark, thick paint. I want to see my design. So I'm going to add just a little water to thin it out. I just did maybe a little too much. Alright. Remember, if you have water on there, you can keep painting. I'm just going to paint over the whole thing. This one I was real careful with, but this is all going to be green, and then I'm going to change the color of the tail. Okay, almost there. Ooh, I wish I could see what color your cats are and what designs you've come up with. I bet they look awesome. Oh, fun. This is always a fun project. Always a fun project. Alright, so I have a little too much water here. I'm going to take some of that off. This is not watercolor paper, so it does not soak in the same way it does on watercolor paper. Alright, so now I'm going to use, I think, let's see, we'll do a yellow face, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue on the tail, just a little bit, just to give it a little, kind of let it stand out a little bit, so not a lot. I'll kind of mix my blue and green there. So there's more blue on the tip of the tail here. And I know I've talked about twisting my flat paintbrush to get my paintbrush to adapt to the curves. And then I twist my brush, and twisting it again. There, okay. All right, so there is my cat's tail. And I need to switch my brush. I need a smaller brush because I'm going to work on the details. So, all right, so let's switch that over. And I think I'm going to do this yellow base. And hopefully you have come up with your color combinations of what you want on your cats. I know pink and purple are very common. When this is all dry, you can actually go back over the whiskers so they show up really well when it's dry. Okay. There's my little guy. Okay, and let's see. I have that as blue, but I don't think I want blue up there. I think I'll do purple. Another little technique is learning to hold your brush. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'm putting my little pinky down here. And I don't know how well you can see that, but I have my pinky down, and I'm holding my brush like this, and my pinky always touches here, and it supports my hand. So I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to go right over these dots because I'm going to put a dot of paint on them and it'll show up then. By putting my pinky down when I'm painting, I don't always do it because there's nowhere to do that over here because it's wet. So you just have to have a steady hand and be patient, and you can get into there. Or you wait for this to dry, and then you don't have to worry about messing it up. There's always that option. All right, so get right over this. I'm gonna see what would happen if I blended my purple and red for the nose. Okay, so I gotta be really careful because I don't want to mix yellow in there. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little red and mix it with my purple just for the nose. Just make it a little different. And then it'll go around here. Okay, so how are you doing with your first cat? Hopefully you're doing fine. Okay, there's that. Now, oh, I have a tongue to paint. I'm not pressing my brush down all the way. Okay, so it's not pressing. I'm just using the tip to paint with. So if you have a small little area you need to paint, you either put your pinky down or part of your fingers, if you can, and you just use the very end of your brush. You never push your brush all the way down for trying to get into small areas, okay? All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of my blue and I'm going to mix white in it to make kind of a lighter blue for my cat's eyes. My cat's going to have blue eyes. I guess they both have blue eyes. Okay. There. All right, now one more thing. All right, so I am going to take my blue, and I have, whoops, I have a water drop there. I have quite a bit. Take a small, like maybe a small brush, I'm going to dip it in all the way, and I'm going to make dots. I'm only using the tip of my brush, okay, the very tip. And just go through, make little dots like that. And then I'm gonna turn this around so I'm not all the way over my artwork there. Oh, that didn't come to a good point. Oh, there's another little tip. I don't know if you can see this. When I'm drying my brush, I roll it. I do that twirl thing again, and I roll it as I'm drying my brush. And that way, I get a really nice round tip. Just another little trick. All right, so now I have white, and I'm going to make white dots and fill in those little circles. There, like that. And then I think I'm going to kind of paint in the triangle. You decide how much detail you want, how much you want to do. You don't have to do this much, but some of you might really like it, okay? So, all right, so there's my dots. Look how cute that is. All right, so now we have to do some little decorations on him. So since I add a little white there, I am going to give his face polka dots. Maybe that like freckles. You know, not all the way, not everywhere, but I thought, oh, that might be kind of fun. Make some little tiny dots, and I'm using just the very tip of my brush, okay? And the more I press down, the bigger dot I will have. All right, so he has freckles, and maybe some blue dots under the eyes. Oh, I know, let's do some stripes. I'll use blue. You can use the smallest little round brush you have. There's some, I don't know how dry that is. For some dot, yeah, so you can draw little stripes. It's all about patterns and design. Laurel Burch did so many little creative patterns and designs on her cats. They're really cool. So there's little stripes, and I think both my cats, I'm going to fix these eyes. There we go. Yeah, and then these triangles, I did not paint them white. I left them. I just didn't paint them. So now the other thing, I think this is kind of plain here. So I think I'm going to add maybe some little stripes just on the top of the tail. I'm not going to do the whole tail. Or you can outline it in yellow or something just to give it more oomph or something. I don't know. So let's give it a try and see. I don't know. Let's see what it's going to look like. I'm going to use yellow, and I'll just use, oh, that's terrible. Okay, I need a smaller brush. Smaller brush, smaller brush. Okay. I was going to use a little swirl. Here. Like that. There we go. I like that. It's a lot of pattern. A lot going on. You may not like that. But Laurel Burch, she did such a good job in blending all her patterns and everything. They always look so good. Okay, there we have it. Well, hey everybody, I hope you had fun with that project today. I know I did. So tune in next week. We'll see what we have a new project next week. Okay, bye-bye now.